this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm back again with that lovely folio that we have been making with the Build Your Own Folio. I had a physical kit and we have been making, obviously, you know, this gorgeous folio, you know, from the bits in the kit. And I thought, let's come along and make some more bits for it. So far we have got quite far in, you know, making the folio. We've decorated it up and things. So now we're looking to just make some ephemera, really, to actually kind of stuff the kit with. Stuff the kit with? No. Stuff the folio with. Oh, I'm just losing my ability to speak, and I've only just switched the camera on. Right, let me just grab in some coffee-dyed background, because what I want to do is just make some journal cards. So I thought what we could do is collage up. So we're going to use some of the gorgeous bits that you get, you know, the ephemera type pieces. We're going to use maybe some of those. We're going to use some of these little, you know, pre-printed like ephemera pieces, maybe some of these. But also, if you saw the last video, we stamped with some of those background stamps with the greens, and I just absolutely loved, I have to say, loved how that looked so much. So I thought we could do some of our own kind of background papers, you know, made using basically some of those stamps, and then we can incorporate that into the collage. So I'm going to stamp this. Now I'm just thinking, what do I want to stamp this on? Whether I want to stamp it on more of a browny shade, so I'm thinking maybe like envelope. Yeah, let me just have a look. I've got this, which is a yellowy envelope, as you can see, super screwed up. Yeah, it's seen better days. So this, yeah, I might just stamp on here, you know, just because, yeah, I just want to create basically some background that I can use, you know, putting into obviously the, you know, the collage, if you see what I mean. So rather than having it all neutral, we'll have some greeny coloured elements as well. So I'm just having a look to see where my other stamp set is, because we actually got, I think we actually got 4 stamp sets in the kit, and now I can only see 2. So yeah, again, I should have really sorted this out before switching record on the camera, but oh, right, here we go. Here is the other one. I knew it was here. It was just kind of a case of where is it? Right. So I have been using, to do my stamping, I have been using this Impress ink pad. It's in emerald green. Now I am just using this because my folio, with my, you know, the Ladybird book that I got in my kit, it had quite a lot of green, and, you know, I'm always a fan of green. So for me, you know, any excuse to use green was a good thing. So I just thought, well, actually, this is going to go really nicely with those, the greens in the Ladybird book. But I mean, obviously, you know, you can use any colour ink that you want. But all I'm going to do is just literally stamp around on this piece of paper, just kind of forming basically some sort of patterned background. And like I say, you know, it doesn't have to look perfect, because we're going to be tearing this down. It's not going to be being, you know, visible as such in its, you know, original state. It's just literally going to be used in part, being torn down. So I'm just going to take maybe this section, which again is just one long run of decorative element. Now, it's unfortunate because I can't really see through my stamp block brilliantly. So yeah, I'm very much kind of winging a prayer type stuff. Right, I'm just going to use this book page to cover up any elements that I don't want to stamp on, if you see what I mean. So like here, just going to cover that up, and then here I'm just going to cover that up, so that when I stamp this, I'm not going to then stamp onto those already stamped areas, if that makes sense. So yeah, just kind of protecting basically protecting the stamped areas that I've done already. So maybe just put that in there like that, and just have a little bit of stamp there. Okay, and you know, I mean, like I say, this does not have to have any kind of cohesion at all, because this is literally going to be torn up and just used as a bit of, you know, decorative, you know, collage fodder, basically, as Louisa Heinzel would call it. So that's all we're doing, is just making some sort of decorative pieces to be able to tear up. So, I mean, it really does not have to look neat and tidy or anything else. We're just literally, you know, just so as we've got colour to add into our collage, really. So that's that one. And yeah, I'm trying to be good and keep my stamps in their packets. No doubt within, you know, by the end of the series, they'll probably be no longer in their packets and just floating all over everywhere. But for the time being, I'm trying to be good and keep them somehow in their packets. Right, then I'm going to pull in these stamps also that you get, and these have got this absolutely gorgeous, oh gosh, what do you call that? Honeycomb pattern. They've also got this text stamp. Now, this text stamp, I haven't stamped on a block yet. I've stamped it in little pieces, if you see what I mean. But I'm going to have a go at stamping this, you know, as a stamped portion. So just going to put it down here. And again, really not worrying at all. I just want to get it down here, that then I'm going to be then, you know, using it. Again, just cover up these little stamped element parts that I don't want to get the stamp on. Using it as collage pieces. So just going in around here like that. Okay. Oh my goodness, how gorgeous does that look? I absolutely love how that's looking so far. I'm just going to fill in just this tiny piece here with a bit of script as well. I mean, it looks really pretty, doesn't it, when you stamp it in amongst the other pattern. So, you know, rather than using it on its own, if you stamp it in amongst the pattern, so if I just bring that up, it looks brilliant, doesn't it? Absolutely lovely. What do you think, darling?
I like it.
Really looks good, doesn't it?
If we don't,
So then I'm just going to put that one away. I'm just going to try this honeycomb. Now, I haven't even used this honeycomb stamp at all, but I'm thinking would look rather pretty. So, right, let's put that down.
If we can't do anything, can I go to Everina with my cousin? Because I still have my socks.
Well, probably not, but we shall see. Okay, we shall see. Right, let's put that down there like that, and I'll just put that in that corner. So again, just try not to stamp over what I've already stamped, if you see what I mean. So, but just get a bit of that honeycomb in between there. Oh, how gorgeous does that look? So again, just put that down, crossing over the patterned areas. Oops, like that. Like that. Okay. Let's just fill in this little bit there. And we'll just go down here. Like that. Bit here. I mean, you know, these edges, to be honest, I mean, I'll probably actually tear into them anyway, so they probably won't really be, you know, very visible. But we'll just see how it goes. So just like that. Okay. And then just a little bit here. Again, just cover up here as well. Oh my goodness. Like that. Okay, so that looks really pretty, doesn't it? And then I've got these portions here. So now I've got this one. I haven't used this yet, but let's pull this one in. Now, what I might do is stamp this without a block. So hopefully I'll have a bit more sort of control where I'm putting this. Like that. Okay. Like that. And then along here on this edge, like that. Okay, oops. Like that. We are nearly done. Nearly done. So yeah, I mean, basically we're just literally, you know, we've made some patterned paper to put in amongst our collage. So that's all that we have been doing there. So I realise that probably looks a bit of a mess. But I mean, hopefully once it's used in the collage, it will look really, really lovely. Who knows, it may continue to look a mess, but yeah, hopefully it's going to look really lovely. So I should just put the lid on here. Get that out of the way. Right, let's get my stamp block out the way. Right, so all I'm going to do is pull in this. Now this is, you know, coffee dyed sort of card. So when I cut this, it's going to be coffee dyed on the back. So it will be kind of plainer on the back for journaling. So hopefully it's going to kind of, oops, sorry, just dropped my blendy tool. Hopefully it's going to then be, you know, good to use. So just tear this down. Okay. Right, my hands are very, very green and blotchy now, so they're kind of dabbing green now all over everything, which is a bit unfortunate. But yeah, unfortunately this ink, that's the only thing I will say about it, it's quite, you know, quite inky. So it does kind of get everywhere, which is a bit of a shame. But I do absolutely love the colour of it. I really, really do. Right, okay, we are ready to go. So let's take some of our bits and bobs and yeah, collage up. So there's some vintage documents which was included in the kit. So you should, you know, if you purchased a kit, you should have, you know, some vintage document. And I know I've said this so many times, but I can't guarantee obviously what anybody got. You know, it's vintage document. So of course I didn't have unlimited, you know, pieces of each document, if you see what I mean. So, you know, just because I've got one thing, you may not have that. You know, it's a kind of potluck basis, but I mean, hopefully you'll have lots of yummy things that you can use. So, oh, just having some struggles with my glue. Let me just change to my Sugar Bell bottle, which I kind of was refraining from using because I thought, well, actually this is going to be really oozing out like at the rate of knots, but you'd probably all prefer that than watching me trying to squeeze it out and, you know, getting nowhere. So yeah, let's just spread that down. I'm so sorry that I'm being really messy doing this with my fingers, but okay, right. Let's just take my glue spreader and just spread this down. So I might actually just put all my green bits down first and then go in and glue around them, you know, fill in around them, to be honest. So yeah, maybe that would be the quickest way to do this. So yeah, I mean, if you've bought the kit, oops, I mean, hopefully you would be able to make your own pattern paper like that with these stamps. You know, like I say, not necessarily using green, but using, you know, a colour that's going to complement and coordinate your folio, you know, beautifully. Which your folio may have been driven, you know, in colour, in terms of colour, by your Ladybird book. So depending on what Ladybird book you got, it may have driven the whole rest of your folio, the whole rest of your project. But I mean, hopefully, you know, you've made something that you absolutely love. So, you know, whatever Ladybird book that you got, hopefully it's produced something that you really, really love. Oh, so sorry, I'm now having problems with this glue, would you believe? Ah, right. Now, I used this the other day and I said, oh, I've never had problems with a Sugar Bell bottle. Well, of course, this is now, you know, very soon after that video. So it's not that I'm now having more problems on a different day. Well, it is a different day, but, you know, it's the same the same Sugar Bell bottle and the same glue. So yeah, and I know I said this, but it's obviously, this is where this gets cold, you know, and then it just doesn't want to go. And I think what happens, it gets cold and it kind of clogs up and then forms like stringy bits of glue that then of course don't want to actually behave like any form of glue that we know, you know. They just want to be temperamental and not really work. Right, let's just, again, spreading this out a bit with my fingers. And the reason I'm doing this is because this envelope, you know, as you could see from that, you know, flimsy screwed up envelope, it's very flimsy and thin. So I'm thinking spread the glue out because, yeah, it maybe would not look too clever otherwise. So that's why I'm spreading the glue out with my finger. Don't know what's happened to my glue spreader, so just misplaced it in the space of like 3 minutes. Not good. Okay. Right. Come on, glue. Let's actually work now. Let's be cooperative. Okay. Right. That's in there while I just leave it tip top. Okay. Right, there we go. Just put that one down there. Yeah, I mean, I could have done with my glue spreader. It would have made this be looking a bit better, I think. But I did have a couple under here yesterday that I thought, oh, that's where they've all disappeared to. And of course now I can't even see the one I was using just a second ago. Oh dear. Right, not a good start really to the video. Right, let's just pop this one in. Right, let's try and pull that long bit out. No. Sometimes you get these kind of like stringy bits and, you know, if you pull them out, then it clears the nozzle completely. But yeah, today, not so much. Not so much. Right. Again, just spread that with my finger. Okay. Like that. Yeah, I just love this green, don't you? It just looks so pretty, doesn't it? Really, really, really love it. Right, not much left now of this. So, yeah, I'll just fill in these couple of bits. Okie, like that. I have to say, I really love that leaf part of those stamps. Yeah, I wasn't quite so convinced by that pattern because again it's that nature based, which I know I've talked about loads of times, but yeah, I don't seem to be able to really do nature much better with other things, but it does look very, very pretty. You know, it's a really pretty pattern. You know, it's got an element of a swirly nature. Okay, right. Okay, right, got there eventually. So, okie dokie, just pop that one down like that. Okay, right, that looks good, doesn't it? And then we're just going to fill in around and, oh, here's my glue spreader. I knew it was somewhere, not too many million miles away, but yeah, just couldn't see it at the moment. Right, So just going to fill in a couple of bits. First of all, so okay. Oh, this is so frustrating, and I do apologise because I'm sure this is really frustrating for you guys to be watching. I'm so sorry. Oops. That one down there. Let's use my glue spreader now I've found it. Okay. Let's get that one out of the way. Okay, like that. Spread that. Okay. Right, I don't know whether I want to have the sheet music side, so I might keep that for something else. So I might mingle it in with some of the, you know, this ephemera stuff. So let's just tear that down. Yep, we can have that one there. Or maybe here. Or maybe here, actually. Might be better. Oh, I'm so sorry. Every single time that I pick this up. I mean, how much more frustrating could this possibly be? I'm so sorry. Oh, I mean, I was really trying not to have a situation where I had to stop the video today because that really just makes the whole uploading it very slow. So that's why I'm really kind of trying to continue regardless, and yeah, not have to stop the video because I don't want to have to edit it and join them together, because that just seems to then just really take a long time. So yeah, I do absolutely apologise because this is not good. And like I say, it doesn't really help the fact that my eyesight's so terrible I can't even see to put that into that end. Let me put my glasses on and then at least maybe I'll be able to actually get the pin in straight away, and that would be a bit quicker. A little bit quicker. Right. Okay. Just glue that one down. Okay, and obviously I've got that typewriter image, but I might keep that. I might not use that in the collage, but I might keep that, you know, for potentially something else. You know, we might want to use that for something else. So yeah, I'm just going to hang on to that. Sweetie, would you be able to get the door, please, darling? Could you get the door, please, sweetheart? Darling, could you get the door, please? Oh, hold on 2 seconds. Sorry about this. I'm going to have to stop the video. Sorry about that. Just drives you potty, doesn't it? Right. Okay. So, yeah, we were gluing the bits down. Now, okay. Oh, is that the same? Right. I've got some other bits. Oh yeah, I've got these little ones. So yeah, let's definitely use some of these. So again, I mean, I just don't like those straight edges, so I'm just going to tear the edges down so that they're not straight. Now I did kind of try and unclog my glue a bit whilst I stopped the camera, so hopefully it's a little bit better now. Although probably be short-lived, I'm sure it will be playing up again in a minute, but hopefully improved for a couple of moments at least. Okay. Let's put this one over here. Oh, it is already playing up, would you believe? Oh, it's just going to be one of those days, I'm afraid. So, yeah. Okay. Right. So let's just put those there like that, and tear this down. Okay. So yeah, I hope everybody's having a good day and getting some crafting done, having a nice time. Hopefully your glue is behaving much better than mine. If you have purchased one of the kits, or if you have been following along with your own supplies, I hope you've been having a lovely time with the series and, you know, made something that you absolutely love. You know, because that's what it's all about really, isn't it? It's just, you know, making something that you feel proud of and, you know, that you can treasure and you've made a lovely job of. So, you know, and who knows? I mean, maybe you've made it for yourself, maybe you've made it as a present, maybe you've made it to sell. You know, whichever one of those things, hopefully, you know, you've made something that's worthy of any one of those things. So yeah, that's kind of the goal, isn't it? Is that you've just made something that you kind of can treasure and you can feel, you know, proud of. So I hope that you've achieved that and got something like that. Okay, right, so we just have these few bits now to fill in. So just tear these bits down. Now, I have to be honest, I mean, I don't know where most of my vintage ephemera is because it's now spread all over my desk. So I'm really having to mainly use the you know, the bits from the packet ephemera because, yeah, I cannot really see any of my actual vintage ephemera. It is here, obviously, somewhere, but it's now buried, I'm ashamed to say. So, yeah, hence I'm mainly making now with the other bits, but that's fine. And, you know, who knows? I mean, maybe you're a bit like me, and you're going to want to hoard your vintage ephemera like I try and hoard mine half the time. You know, because it's very precious, isn't it? When you find, you know, vintage things that, you know, I mean, they were kind of part of somebody's history and they're all, you know, they're original things. So it is then hard to kind of bring yourself to use things, isn't it? So maybe you will be feeling that way as well about your, you know, your vintage pieces. So just going to tear that down. So I might put that just in that space, I think. Or should I put it there? Perhaps I'll put it there. I mean, to be honest, you know, like with all these things, you don't really need to kind of overthink a collage masterboard. Now, I again have to confess, I do find myself overthinking, oh, does that look good there? Does that not? You know. But you know, when you cut the masterboard up and you then use it, you know, for something, you really are not going to even be aware of, you know, what you've put where, because it's going to be covered up with things. So, you know, the fact that we kind of go to so much trouble trying to get it right and, you know, make sure we put things in the right places, it kind of is, you know, irrelevant in the end, because like I say, you don't really kind of need to do that. You know, once you actually come to use it, you know, the chances are you're not even going to really see what was where in the first place. So, you know, if, like me, you are inclined to, you know, to overthink things when it comes to your masterboards, you know, maybe kind of view it as, well, it doesn't really matter, because when I come to use it, it's going to be predominantly covered up, you know. I mean, even to the point of, like, here, I may have a little tiny space, a little tiny gap in between these two bits. So I'll show you in a second. Okay. Here, there may be this small space here. I'm not going to worry about that too much, because when this gets cut down into journal cards, that might not even show. It may be covered up. So you see here, where I've got this tiny space, that may well be covered up with anything I stick on top of there anyway. So all the worrying, you know, about, oh gosh, you know, I've got that space now, you know, probably not really worth worrying about anyway, because you're not actually going to even see that when it comes to using it. And, you know, I think it's hard to kind of bear that in mind sometimes, because obviously, you know, most things, it would matter. But I think with a masterboard, you know, because it's going to have kind of things put on top of it, you know, it probably doesn't really matter most of the time. And, you know, even if then you found that actually you weren't going to cover up that particular space, you could always fill that in afterwards. Or, you know, even if you weren't going to put something on there, then, you know, alter your design a bit and do put something on there. So, you know, it's always kind of worth bearing in mind that you don't actually have to be worrying to such an extent. So let's just fill these couple of bits in. Okay. Just going to put that there. I mean, again, you can see I'm doing it again, you know, worrying about, oh, which way up do I want that? How am I going to cover that space up? You know, and it's really just not, you know, not really worth the worrying. So again, let me just unclog. Oh, do you know, even with my glasses now, for some reason I can barely see this. Oh dear. Okay. Let's put that on down there. That looks good, right? Yep. Like that. Okay. So, yep, and we've just got this piece. I'm just going to put that, I think, across there. You know, it just fits in that space, to be honest. And I would normally have cut that, torn that down so as it didn't have a straight edge. I only didn't because, to be honest, it looked quite fiddly to try and get a torn edge, but keeping that text. So I thought, oh, let's just, you know, let's just leave it and go for that like that. So we'll just tear this one down a bit. Again, I would have liked to have had that curved text, but I want to tear the edge, so yeah, it won't have that curved bit of text anymore, but you know, that's fine. So just put that one down. Okay, put that one in like that. Just glue that down. This one. Oh, that's pretty in there, isn't it? I like that. Just going to tear that down. So, yeah, no straight edges going on there. Okay. Oh, I'm sure you'll all be so pleased once I've finished this and I'm not unclogging my glue anymore. So, yeah, nearly done, you'll be pleased to know. Very, very, very nearly done. Okay. Which way up was I having that? I think I was having it that way up. Again, you know, there I go, overthinking it. And it really does not matter at all, you know. Okay, so I've just got this section here and I've just got a small space there. So I'll just quickly tear this one down here. Again, just getting rid of those straight edges. And then we can just glue this one here. So like that. Okay. Like that. Okie dokie. And then we are nearly done. Nearly done. So I just need something to go in here. So got this one. Oh my gosh, how lovely is that? Just tear that down. Now I think I've probably torn that too short now, so I'm doing exactly what I said, that I'm going to have then that little space there that's not going to quite fill the space, but never mind. So I'm going to keep the straight edge on that as well, just so that otherwise I'm going to end up tearing it way too short. So, you know, way too small for the piece. Right. Just now, last time hopefully of unclogging this glue, because once we cut this, I'll probably just use my hot glue just to avoid this scenario. Right. Okay, right, let me spread this around now with my finger. Okay, right, pop that one down in that space. Okay, right, so that's our masterboard. So yeah, absolutely gorgeous, 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 isn't it? Absolutely love it. Oh gosh, I've dabbed all green all over the back of it now, so yeah, not looking good. But I mean, the back is still plain, so even though I've got those dabs of green, you know, it's still plain and it's still journalable on, so it's all fine. So I'm just going to cut that down like that. And I've said this so many times before, but you know, if you make a masterboard and you think, oh gosh, that looks terrible, sometimes it just looks terrible whilst you've got the bits all overhanging the edges. Once you cut it down, you know, straight around the edges, it really can transform how your masterboard looks. So once we've cut this down, hopefully I'm going to turn it over and we're all going to think, oh my gosh, it looks amazing. Who knows, we might still think it looks shocking, but I think this is a bit like a magic trick, you know, that once you then turn it over, it looks completely different once those jaggedy edges have gone. And, you know, hopefully you can kind of see that. And, yeah, I mean, hopefully you kind of think that as well. And don't just think, oh, what's she talking about? It looks rubbish. You know, I just think that, yeah, transforms it completely. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this into quarters, roughly quarters, so that we can make like 4 journal cards. So, you know, obviously I'm just going approximately, I'm not measuring this or anything. So I might end up with, you know, rubbish size and shaped cards, but hopefully they will be okay. So like that, and then this one I'll just cut down like that. Okay, and obviously I can tidy them up, you know, so yeah, we can now kind of just go round and just tidy it up, make sure it's looking vaguely straight on some of the edges that were not looking very straight. Well, all of the edges, to be honest. Right. Okay. Yeah, so I mean that looks a bit better, doesn't it? It's not great, but it's okay. It's okay. Right, so put that one to one side. This one here, actually that doesn't look too terrible anyway, so yeah, didn't make too bad a job. This one, maybe it needs to come in a bit here. Okay, and then just a little bit down this edge here. Okay. And this one, so I think I must have cut it on this side. It's actually hard to say, to be honest, which sides I even cut down, but yeah, I think this side. Just cut that down like that. Okay, and then just... Okay, right, so we've got our 4 journal cards that we're now going to just, you know, decorate up and kind of make just look super pretty, that we can put tucked into, you know, some of our pockets and things. So let's see what we want to use on them. Now I'm thinking I might use a couple of the pieces from the fussy cut pack on these. So I'm just going to pull in bits from the fussy cuts. So for instance here, I mean, I think that looks very pretty. So just trim that down. I mean, it barely even needs anything else on there, does it? So, oh, what did I say about not using this glue anymore? Ah, right. Let me use my Fabri-Tac because I maybe will have a bit more luck with that. So yeah, let's just glue this down. Now, I know I've said this every time that I've done one of these videos, but obviously the, you know, the kits are kind of potluck. So although you're going to have some elements that are the same, the fussy cut packs, the lace and the Ladybird book, you are going to all get different things. So just because I have got one of these labels, you know, you may not have one of those. You know, I can't guarantee what you're going to have got in your particular kit. But I mean, hopefully you're going to have lots of things that you do love. But they may just not be, you know, the same as kind of some of the bits that I've got. But hopefully you're going to have, you know, plenty of things that you do really, really like. So now just wondering whether I want to have a little bit of the lace in the background. So do I want any green lace? Can I even see any green lace now on my desk? Honestly, I lost the green lace in yesterday's video. Or, yeah, in the previous video where I was working on this kit, and now I've lost it again. I mean, how can you lose it twice? 2 days on the trot. I have no idea. But indeed I have. Oh, here we go. Right, so I'm just wondering whether I want to have a bit of lace kind of coming out behind her. Maybe, oops, maybe just like that. Just kind of just adds that little bit of decorative element just down the side there. So I just glue that down a bit. Might not even need quite as much as that, so just take that down. Now I'm just going to hot glue this straight down. Okay, just mind not to glue that one in. So like that. Okay, so that looks pretty, doesn't it? And then I think what I will do is I'm going to round the corners of this. So I'm just going to put a oops. Oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry. That was my pen pot just has gone flinging off the side of the desk. So I do apologise for that noise. Right. Well, that was my plug, because my son still never did put the plug going to my desk. So yeah, I'm working with an extension lead that obviously drags across the whole room, which that's what obviously caught the pen pot, was the cable. So yeah, I do apologise for the noise. I'm so sorry if it scared you or anything. But yeah, everything's fine here. So if you're worried, everything is fine. It was just literally, you know, it flung off. Right, so love how that looked. Now I'm just going to, I think, ink around the edges a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying it necessarily needs it, but just, you know, just give it a little bit of decorative edge. Okay. So, I mean, you just don't really need very much at all, do you, on a journal card? I mean, that looks gorgeous, doesn't it? So that's first one. Okay, let's do another one. So, oops, bring in another one now. So we have got this one. And what should we put on this one? So, well, I've got the other section of label, so probably be quite good to use that, wouldn't it? Now, I did have some shoes in my, you know, fussy cut pack. That's a bit small. Got a big bow, which I could have kind of on there. Well, that's quite pretty, isn't it? Yeah, I quite like that. So I'm just going to ink around the edge of here so it sort of stands out more. I'll just glue this one down. Okay. Put that there like that. Right, I'm just going to ink around the bow. Again, just so it stands out a bit more, really, because it's obviously got the green shades, you know, I feel it's, you know, possibly blending in a little bit much. So just going to hot glue this down, again, just so it sort of stands out a bit, really. So pop that there, not really press it down overly much, and then it's just got a sort of bit of a raised effect. And then the shoe, just ink a little bit around the shoe. Again, not too much, but just, you know, just a little bit. I've got that tiny bit of lace. I mean, how ridiculous. Why am I even bothering? Why am I even bothering with that tiny bit of lace? But yeah, just maybe might have that bit of lace there. So let's just glue that down. Okay. Like that. I can't tell you how much I love that. The you know, touches of the green background paper. It looks so pretty, doesn't it? So, and you know, again, if you bought one of these kits, you know, please do share, like if you're on the Facebook group, please do share what you've made. And you know, like for instance, if you made, you know, the collage fodder paper, i.e. with your stamps, then please do share, you know, because the chances are you've not done it with greens, you've maybe done it with a different colour. And it would be so lovely to see what you've made and how yours looks compared to obviously, you know, how mine looks. So do share it because, you know, it's very inspirational, I think, for everyone to kind of see everybody else's take on things and everybody's stuff that they've made. So yeah, please don't be shy. Please do share. Oh gosh, I can't see which is the right way up. I think that's just the right way up. So yeah, again, just going to have that little flower there. Looks pretty, doesn't it? Right. Might not even, you know, round the edges. Just going to ink the edges of this. Oh, these are such nice journal cards. Really love them. So, yeah, that's that one. And, you know, we're flying through them. They're taking, like, no time whatsoever to put them together. They are just, you know, coming together really, really, really quickly. You know, so you don't have to kind of have a ton of different things on them or anything, you know, just a few carefully selected pieces, and it can just, you know, yeah, bring a gorgeous image or a gorgeous journal card. Make a gorgeous journal card. Sorry, losing the ability to speak. So for instance, this one I might just have even kind of like that. I mean, that looks very, very pretty, doesn't it? And then maybe, just wondering, because I've got these little bits still. Let's just see if we could have one of these or something on the background. I mean, this may blend in a bit much because obviously I've stamped it with the, you know, the same colour green as the other bits, you know, as the collage fodder background. Okay. Oops. Again, just going to ink this up. I mean, that looks really nice, doesn't it? I'm actually thinking, where's my other stamps? Because there was a big label stamp. So I'm actually thinking perhaps we could put a big label somewhere. Now, do we want it in green is the question. I have done all the stamping in green, you know, for this. So, yeah, perhaps I will continue with the green. So just stamp that down. Now, which colour paper shall I stamp it onto is the question. I'm actually wondering whether I should stamp it onto like the back of one of these, and I know that's a little bit extravagant, but I'm sure I had a piece there earlier that I'd already torn. Something else. Right. Wonder whether I should stamp it onto there and use that. So just going to see. Right, now I have to be careful because I can't really see through my block, and yeah, it's pretty much the size of that page. Oh, what's the pity knife not stamped that on that piece of paper? I just about did. I mean, you can probably see it's kind of gone off the edge very slightly, but not too bad. So yeah, let's just put that back on the plastic. Right. Oh gosh, I've got green all on my finger. Everything I touch is now getting covered in green. Now I'm just kind of kiss cutting this, giving it a very slight edge of that colour. You know, that coloured background paper. Like that. Now I don't know how this is going to look, but yeah, I'm just wondering whether we could have this. Oops. Or we may want it up here. I mean, I've done it really so that I could have that piece like sat on it, and it would make that show up. Now I'm not so sure. So now let me just turn it round. Oh, I can't see what's the right way up. I think this way. So I'm now thinking what we could do, actually, if we're having it this way up, we could probably even just have it cut down. I do always love my, you know, portion of a label. So yeah, let's just cut that down like that. You okay, sweetie? Yeah, I dropped that everywhere. Did you not hear it go clattering down? Do you want to start picking them up for me, please?
And by the way, do you know what that stuff is on the kitchen table? All that.
No. Do you mean the food? Stuff for you. I stopped at the shop on the way home from the gym today, and I bought her some like the yogurt flakes and fruit stars. Smiles. I thought they were stars. Which does explain it actually, because now I'm thinking the picture on the box had smiles, not stars. Yeah. For some reason, I read them as fruit stars. No idea why, but yeah. I know, isn't that so annoying? But I did that. Oh, you're joking. Oh, actually worse than I imagined. Yeah, because the cable, it's like all hooked up, isn't it, on their thing? I really need Mac to give me a plug. I really need your brother to do me a plug, don't I? Yeah. Because that's not good. So I think like that actually looks rather pretty. So yeah, let's put that on like that. And then I'm just going to have this glued down here. So, and again, this is just a label from the Fussy Cut pack. I'm just going to put that there. And then I'm going to have the crest, you know, going kind of over the top of it. So, popping lots of glue on there again, so it's, you know, standy outy.
Oh, we need to get more of this. Remember when I had that?
Like that.
When I had that
like
tape?
that.
The tape with the little...
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute.
Right. We just ink round the corners. Oh, right. Okay. Actually, I might just round the corners on 2 corners. And I know I've talked about this, but yeah, for some reason I quite like doing that lately. I think it's quite cool. So Just going to ink around the edges again of that card. Okay, so yeah, that's another one done. So they're really very quick, aren't they? Very quick and easy. So then we've got this one here, and yeah, let's just see what we can put on this one. Now I did have, I think, one of the pieces of ephemera. There was this section here with this image here from a book. So I'm kind of thinking we could tear this down. And I know I've said all of this, but, you know, obviously the pieces of ephemera, they all vary. You will not necessarily get things like this. You will just, you know, this was just kind of potluck. I just happen to have this in my, you know, my set. So, but hopefully you will have lovely things, you know, nonetheless. You will, I'm sure, have, you know, a whole bunch of things that you love. So if you don't have this, I'm sure you've got other things that are just, you know, just lovely as well. Right, just having a look to see whether we could put the little, you know, that just tiny section of label that we just didn't use. You know, it's all good to be able to use the things.
Did it?
Use the things, use everything. Oh, thank you so much, sweetheart. That was so kind of you. No, it didn't take too long, did it? Is that properly on the desk now, darling? Is it hooked around the cable of the hot glue gun? Because that's what obviously pulled it off.
No.
It's not. Okay. Oh, it's very annoying, isn't it? Love you, sweetie. Thank you, darling. Right, and then I'm just going to put this down here. Like that. Okay. Again, let's just get a wipe. Wipe the desk. Wipe the label. Okay, and then this one, just using the wet glue because obviously it's just thinnish, you know, it's just a book image, so I don't want to kind of use anything too bumpy and lumpy because obviously that would then really show through. So oh, right, let's just glue this down. Right, okay, give up really with this. It's just silly, 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 silly. Right. Okay, oops, like that, and just putting that to, you know, more to one side really. So stick that down. Looks very pretty, doesn't it? And then just check what else I might have to put on here. Have got this butterfly, which actually is quite nice, isn't it? So I'm just going to ink this up because it's quite bright. I'm not sure how it will go with everything in the folio, but I mean, hopefully it will go somewhere. So, but I'm just dulling it down by inking it anyway, so that it will be a bit more muted. So yeah, let's just then glue that on. Okay. So yeah, really, really pretty. I'll just quickly ink the corners, or ink the, not corners, but edges. So yeah. Okay. Oh my goodness, how gorgeous is that? So yeah, we've made four journal cards there. So what we did, we made our own background paper with the stamps. We then collaged up a masterboard, and then we have made 4 lovely scrumptious journal cards, which are all going to go into our folio. So yeah, I really hope that you like the bits that we've made. They've come together pretty quickly and, you know, very, very easily. So yeah, I hope that you like it all, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you again. We will make a few more bits of ephemera, and then we'll stuff the folio, and then we will be done. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks then. Bye.